Well, now at this point we have to practice, we have to put into practice everything we learned by taking a look at a very effective example. This example is made up of a sequence of chords, and it is taken from a song. It is taken from a real song. Okay, this sequence of chords is very common, is a very common one, and it is very often used in the pop song, in the pop music. So maybe you have already listened to it. You have already found it. But now, of course, we are going to look at this more in depth because we are going to analyze it. We are going to see this chord, this sequence in the context of the key. And of course, we are going to analyze in the sense of what we learned about the minor scale, the minor key. So, so to analyze this sequence of chords, we are going to see two aspects, or we can say two parts of this sequence of chords. The first part, in which we have a very strong tonal ambiguity, and the second part, and the second moment, we could say, in which there is a break of the tonal ambiguity. Well, so what about this example? Up to now we have only used the A minor key, but it is very important to change to use all the different major, of course, but in this case minor keys. So now we're going to change to use this example in a different key from the A minor key. And since the original song, since the original sequence is written in the E minor key, we are going to use it in the original key. So you're going to look at this using the original key, which is, of course, as I said before, E minor key. So okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, we have to find all the notes, of course, first of all, of the E minor key, of the E minor scales, of the three different minor scales. So let's start from the relative major, which of course is the G major scale. So the G major scale is made up of the following notes. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and of course G. So let's take a look at the E natural minor scale. So we're going to use the same notes, but of course starting from the different notes. So we have, of course, E, which is the tonic, E, F sharp, second degree, then G, A, B, C, D, and then we arrive at the E of the following octave. So to have the harmonic minor scale, we only have to alter, to raise the 7th degree, which of course in the natural minor scale, E natural is the D note. So we are going to raise it by a chromatic half tone, and so we go to the D sharp. So these are the notes. D sharp. Please remember this difference because it is the main aspect, the main difference, the key point, we could say, of all this song, all this of the whole song. And then of course we can also find the notes of the melodic minor scale ascending, of course. So we have to rise the 6th degree too. So from the C we get to the C sharp. Of course, okay. It is very important to point out, to focus on the 7th degree, while of course, since this is the key point, because this is the 7th degree and this is the leading tone. Okay, so this will be something very important. And every time you analyze a song written in a minor key, you have always to focus on the leading tone, so the change from the 7th degree, the natural 7th degree, and the altered 7th degree, the augmented 7th degree. Okay, so now let's start by analyzing this sequence, this succession of chords, and please let me notice that first off we are going to to use to take a look at this by calling all the chords using the name the names their names used in the pop music. So for example, E minor, D major, and so on. So we start from the simple names used in the pop music, and of course then we're going to see them, to look at them in the context, to analyze them in the context of the key. Okay, so let's start with the first part of the succession. So the first part is made up of these chords. So we start from the E minor chord, then D major chord, then G major chord, and then we go to the B major chord. So we can repeat this sequence of chords, this succession of chords, twice, for example, as in the case of this song. So E minor, D major, G major, and B major. So this is the first part of the succession of chords. Now we get to the second part, and we start from the G chord, so the G major chord, then B major chord, E minor chord, and then again B major chord. So this is the second part of the sequence: G major, B major, E minor, E major. Okay, I think it is clear. Of course, this sequence is repeated twice again, as in the case of the first part. So this is the second sequence. So now we have to analyze in depth the first part of the sequence. We have to take a look. We have to understand more in depth how to see this. Okay, so let's start from the first degree. Now, we have to analyze. So we are going to see to understand these chords in the context of the key. So the E minor key, of course. So we start with the E minor chord, which is a first degree, and it is a common chord. It is common of all the it is common for all the different scales. So it is not a matter. It is not I mean, using all the three different scales, I have always this tonic chord. Okay, so it is good for any E minor scale we use. So then we go to the D major chord, which of course is the chord built on the 7th degree of the natural minor scale, because please let's remember the difference between the natural minor scale, in which we have the D natural, and the harmonic minor scale, in which we have the D sharp. So this is the natural 7th degree. Then we get to the G major, which is the third degree. So 1, 2, 3, third degree of the natural minor scale, because we are going to use the D natural. Okay, so up to now we only have used the natural minor scale. Okay, and up to now we have had a very strong tonal ambiguity. But we are going to talk about this in some minutes. Now let's take a look at the following chord. Now the 4th chord is the B major chord, which of course is the dominant chord, which is made up of B, D sharp, and F sharp, and of course it is built using the harmonic minor scale. It is on the 5th degree of the harmonic minor scale, since we have of course the D sharp. Okay, and of course these chords, as we already said, heads inside of this chord we have the leading tone, which is the D sharp. Okay, so then we get, again, we are going to repeat this sequence as we said before. So we get to the E minor, which again is a common chord. Then again we get to the D major. So we're going to use again the natural minor scale, since we have the D natural, then again the G major chord, so again the natural minor scale, since we have the D sharp, the D natural, and then again we get to the B major, and now we have again the dominant chord, so the harmonic minor scale. So let's take a look. Let's analyze more in depth in the sense of the tonality, in the sense of the sense of tonality. Sorry for the using of these words. This first sequence, this first part of the sequence. So in the first part, we have a very strong tonal ambiguity when we have the E minor chord, the D major chord, and the G major chord. It is a very strong tonal ambiguity. It seems to be in the G major key instead of the E minor key, because we have this very particular sequence of chords, of two chords, which is D major chord, G major chord, and of course if we consider these chords in the context of the G major key, we can see this in the context of the G major key. So this is a 5th degree chord, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the G major key, okay, and then this is this is the tonic chord, and this of course is the the dominant chord and the tonic chord, so 5th degree and 5th degree and 1st degree, okay. But of course, even if it seems to be in the G major key, we are not. Of course, we are in the E minor key, and in fact, suddenly after these three chords, we get the B major chord, and here we have a very strong tonal sense. So we break the tonal ambiguity because we introduce the leading tone, and we have a very strong tonal sense, of course, and the E key is very clear, also because then we have the succession B major, E minor, which of course is made up of dominant chord and tonic chord. So now we have a very tonal clarity, okay? So in this sequence is made up of only 4 chords, but we have a very good mix between them, because we have in the first part a tonal ambiguity, and then we have a strong tonal sense, and it is quite an effective mix. It is quite an effective way of seeing them.